Now that I think about it, this was also not a very pretty man, and that kind of makes me wonder about what she thought of my standards. We spent the entire night more or less ignoring her friends, and we talked for hours, genuinely, hours and hours of conversation. Her friends got bored of us chatting to each other. They left after mercifully not getting into the birdcage. We found ourselves in what can only be described as the worst club in Manchester. In a dark, loud and smelly basement club under the printworks, which seems to be populated only by us and some very ill-mannered drug users. We talked about our love of books, music, film, and everything else in our lives. Hours passed and we were talking. We never
Freya, no. Freya, come here. Move it. Freya, come here.
Eagerly part of the day. Great. We talked about our love of books, music, film, everything else now. And it was brilliant. We had hours of conversation, the most genuinely enjoyable conversation I've had in my entire life. And I wish it would never end. Then she said, "Are you going to kiss me or what?" I think all the Betsy girls.
Like, come off it. Naughty. You're like, come on. Excellent.
And our relationship blossomed from there. Decided a 10-day trip to Japan early on in our relationship, and the odd few days here and there. I've seen Ashley just about every single day over the last 5.5 years. We still talk for hours about silly things, serious things. We never get bored of each other. We always find something to do, something to interest us. And she finds things to excite me with every single day that I'm with her. We've been together more than 5 years, and she still makes me feel like a teenager with a crush, even today. Over those 5 years, I've been able to meet some fantastic people because of her. Ashley's family welcomed me with open arms. Her parents were especially pleased when she finally came to live with me. Now, her brothers and sister accepted me immediately. Her nieces and nephews took a few piggyback rides, and I had to let you play my video games a bit, but we got there in the end. Great. Pat, Tom, I don't know what you did to make Ashley grow up into the strong, independent, beautiful, intelligent, wonderful woman that she is today. But you did something really right, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. For those of you who don't know, before me and Ashley went off to New York, where I was trying to propose to her, I took the engagement ring and I went to see Pat and Tom. Not to ask their permission exactly, because I would have done it anyway. But I just wanted to let them know my intentions. And they were ecstatic. Her mum said, "Do you think she'll say yes?" I really hope so. I should point out that me and Ashley, historically, we've always had kind of a low view of marriage. I mean, why ruin a perfectly good relationship by getting married? As time went on, we just started joking about it more and more. It went from, if we were different people and we were getting married, I'd make you wear a tiara. That's very helpful to me, by the way. It went from that to, if we get married, I'm going to make sure our first dance is a carefully choreographed breakdance to Boom Shake Boom by Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. It went from that to, when we get married, I'm going to insist on bacon sandwiches at the buffet. By the way, those of you who like that idea, you're in luck later on. For reasons beyond this, we went from downright detesting marriage to seeing it as the best way forward for our relationship. While I could blame Ashley's guilty pleasure in utterly terrible romantic comedies, I have so many on my DVD bookshelves that people keep thinking you're mine, and it's just terrible. All the love of Don't Tell the Bride. I could put it down to any one of these things, but it just felt natural for us. Yeah. Now, I also need to mention that the merging of our groups of friends. Because without Ashley, I wouldn't have met some of these wonderful people who have enriched my lives over the years. I mean, Emily, who I got to know initially as that girl who came across to my house and passed out drunk on the couch, snoring and drooling all night. Actually, that's one of the kindest and most wonderful people I have ever met. Chris, someone who shares pretty much my every interest, and still one of the only people I can play video games with. There's Phil, wherever he's gone. Phil, come on. Phil, who I found not only share my love of gaming, but also my fascination with science, nature, photography, and making things explode in the most interesting ways. Mark and Richard, you've been incredibly accepting and supportive of me throughout my and Ashley's relationship, as well as a major source of gossip regarding both of your love lives. And so now I need to bring it to Kim, the best man. I met Kim because I was employed as a sales assistant in a video game store that she was the manager of. Initially, I don't think she liked me very much, mostly because I was late for most of my shifts, I missed the odd one here and there, and I spent one interesting afternoon making an intricate spider web out of elastic bands behind the counter while we were open. The job was really boring, yeah. When work was over, though, Kim was much more interesting. Between arguing loudly about whether watching wrestling was a worthwhile pastime, it's really not.
It is.
It's not. And teaching me various drinking games, which mostly involved shouting loudly and pouring booze down your neck.
I'll teach everyone that later, by the way.
Well, we gradually formed a strong bond of friendship, and now I can't imagine life without her to call my friend. She's been a brilliant best man, and I'm told she threw one hell of a bachelor party for me. One hell of a drink. Still, she got me in a taxi home at the end of the night once she realized I couldn't speak English anymore, so I have her thank for that as well. Kim, you've been the best man I could hope for, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this wedding fantastic. She even stayed with me last night, helped me rewrite the speech. She went through trouble of helping me write the speech. And Sean is a massive knob and lol. Come on! Seriously, you've been brilliant. Don't go thinking you're off the hook though, because you still have to help me return all these suits. I want to also thank our mothers, shaping us into the people that we are today. Without Pat, Ashley wouldn't be the strong, smart, and kind person that she is today. Without my mum Pam, I wouldn't be as well versed in music, movies, books. Without your constant encouragement, I wouldn't have read as much, listened to as much, or watched as much, and I wouldn't be the same person I am today without you. Also, I wouldn't have this awesome conversation starting accent, so I got that going. Liz, I want to thank you as well. Without you, I wouldn't have the same love for cooking as I do. My culinary expertise would have probably stopped at boiling an egg. The first meal that I cooked for Ashley, the first time I had her around to my flat, was a very adventurous dish of pork chops and whiskey sauce. It kind of boring. But I like to think that one of the reasons that she stayed in love with me for so long is because I can cook. I've got you to thank for that. Now, you've all played a huge part in turning us into who we are today, and I can't thank you enough for that. As a token, we have gigantic bouquets of flowers for you all. Kat's mum, Liz, would you like to come up?
Oh, goodness.
I think we have to give you a special mention because you paid for all this. Tom, throughout the entire time that I've been with Ashley and that I've known you, you've been really down to earth and you've always been easy to talk to, especially when discussing paint and decorating. Now, you've welcomed me into your family so quickly, and you've always been there for us. I'll be eternally grateful to you for bringing up Ashley into the woman she is today.